The Bold and the Beautiful B&B recap for Friday, August 15th, reveals that Lee Finnegan, Naomi Matsuda decided to run a boot camp for Luna Nozawa Lisa Yamada before Sheila Sharp Kimberlyn Brown spilled some Will Spencer Crew Moro news to her granddaughter, at Lee's place. Sheila showed up with a gift bag for Luna, and saw that her recovery was still going well. Lee was adamant that no one else could know Luna was alive until they knew what they were dealing with and could give her a new life as planned. Luna was hungry and asked for a pizza, so Sheila headed off to get her one at Il Giardino. That gave Luna a chance to put on more makeup and ask if Lee thought she was pretty. Lee realized Luna was thinking about boys again, so she scolded Luna and especially didn't want her fixating on Will. Since Lee had put a lot on the line for Luna, she expected her to make the most of this chance at redemption. Lee didn't want Luna becoming like Poppy Nozawa Romy Park, so she insisted she'd put Luna through her own version of boot camp. Lee vowed to be Luna's drill sergeant and reform her, but Luna thought she needed to chill out. At Forrester Creations, Ivy Forrester Ashley Brewer gave Electra Forrester Linnea Grace updates on it being a big day for Will. Since Ivy had heard about Will getting a promotion, she told Electra about it. Electra was delighted and eventually talked about waiting on her first time in the bedroom. Now that it was happening, with a great guy like Will, Electra expected it to be special and romantic. At Ilger, Brooke Logan, Catherine Kelly Lang, and Katie Logan Heather Tom sat down with Will as well as another employee named Tony. Will and Tony learned they were no longer interns, so they were thrilled over their promotions. Tony had to leave early, but Will stuck around to celebrate with Katie and Brooke. Deacon chatted with all of them about the promotion and agreed to let them have a party at the restaurant. So Sheila eavesdropped on all this while she waited for Luna's pizza. After Sheila spoke to Deacon briefly, she headed back to Luna and picked up on the tension with Lee. In a moment alone with Luna, Sheila told her about Will's promotion and the upcoming bash at Il Giardino, so Luna was intrigued. Back with Electra on Friday's B&B episode, she made out with Will after congratulating him on getting a promotion. Will and Electra both looked forward to what could be a very memorable night. The Bold and the Beautiful spoilers say Luna will prove she hasn't changed when she carries out her next scheme, so stay tuned. CDL's where you want to be for terrific, Bold and the Beautiful spoilers, news and updates, so make us your favorite B&B hotspot. Friday's episode of The Bold and the Beautiful delivered a cocktail of discipline, secrets, and explosive revelations, leaving viewers with plenty to chew on before the weekend cliffhanger between Lee's military-grade training session for Luna, Sheila's wicked satisfaction in dropping a bombshell about Will, and the Forrester family circling in chaos. The show packed tension into nearly every corner of Los Angeles. Lee turns into a drill sergeant with Luna. The episode opened in the Finnegan living room, where Luna tiptoed in after a restless night. She looked like she had barely slept, her eyes puffy, her hair tied into a messy bun, and her energy somewhere between exhausted and defiant. But Lee was already waiting for her, seated stiffly on the sofa with her hands clasped in front of her, posture as sharp as her words. "You think being a designer's intern is tough?" Lee asked coldly. "Try surviving my boot camp." At first, Luna laughed nervously, thinking her aunt was exaggerating. But Lee stood up, pointed to a chair, and barked, "Sit." Luna did as told, realizing this was not a casual family talk. Lee launched into what she called life-saving preparation. She told Luna that working at Forrester Creations meant more than sketching dresses and sipping champagne at photo shoots. It meant politics, schemers, and temptations waiting at every turn. You have to be sharper, faster, smarter, and you have to be disciplined. If not, you'll be eaten alive. Just ask your mother. The mention of Poppy hit a nerve. Luna's jaw tightened. "I'm not my mother," she shot back, voice trembling. Lee ignored the outburst and handed Luna a notebook filled with what looked like schedules and lists. "From today, you'll rise at 5 a.m., jog 3 miles, and recite affirmations I've written for you. You'll learn proper posture, etiquette, and the kind of self-control it takes to say no when someone hands you a spiked drink or worse. A marriage proposal from a man who isn't yours." It was clear Lee wasn't just lecturing Luna, she was projecting years of frustration with Poppy onto her niece. Viewers could feel Luna's silent storm. The girl wanted to respect her aunt but also push back against the suffocating discipline. The scene ended with Lee clapping her hands like a drill sergeant. "Day 1 of boot camp starts now. Get up. Let's see if you can walk across this room like you belong in the Forrester world." Luna's wide-eyed gulp spoke volumes. Sheila plays Catan Mouse at Il Giardino. Meanwhile, Over at Il Giardino, Sheila was positively glowing, not the warm glow of love, but the dangerous glint of a cat who had just cornered a mouse. Sitting at her usual table, she stirred her coffee slowly, as if savoring the anticipation of the chaos she was about to unleash. Deacon tried to keep things calm, but Sheila was restless. "I've been holding on to a little nugget of information," she purred. "Something about young Will Spencer." Deacon raised an eyebrow. "Bill's kid. What about him?" Sheila leaned in closer, lowering her voice but not her grin. "Oh, nothing bad, just something Bill hasn't exactly been broadcasting. The kind of thing that could shift loyalties, open up vulnerabilities, and you know me, Deacon. I live for vulnerabilities." She refused to spill immediately, stringing it out like a master manipulator. "You'll see soon enough," she teased, before finally whispering in Deacon's ear. His eyes widened. "You can't be serious." Sheila sat back, smug as ever. "Oh, I'm very serious. And once this little secret about Will gets out, the mighty Bill Spencer may not look so invincible anymore." Though the audience wasn't given full details yet. The heavy implication was that Will had either made a life-changing decision or that someone had plans for the boy that Bill wouldn't approve of. Sheila's glee hinted at a paternity twist, or perhaps Will rejecting his father's path in favor of someone unexpected. Regardless, Sheila's promise to spill the Will news set the stage for an explosive fallout. Katie and Bill clash over Will. The episode then shifted to Spencer Publications, where Katie was reviewing some documents but clearly distracted. Bill walked in, exuding his usual arrogance mixed with fatherly pride. He began rambling about Will's future, speaking as though their son's life had already been carved in marble. "Law school, business degree, the works," Bill said confidently. "The boy will follow in my footsteps, whether he realizes it yet or not." Katie slammed her pen down. "That's just it, Bill. You never ask him what he wants. Will's not a trophy. He's a young man with his own dreams." Bill rolled his eyes. "You think he wants to be an artist, a musician? Come on, Katie. That's a hobby, not a future. He's a Spencer. He's meant to lead." Katie's voice cracked with emotion. "You're so busy dictating his life that you don't see him slipping away from you." Unbeknownst to both of them, Sheila was already planning to exploit this very rift. The Will storyline, long on the back burner, was suddenly roaring back into focus with the kind of parental clash that only B&B can deliver. Finn torn between Lee and Luna. Back at the hospital, Finn tried to reason with his mother. He pulled her aside, away from Luna, who was busy trying to balance a book on her head per Lee's bizarre posture exercise. "Mom, this is too much," Finn protested. "You're treating Luna like a soldier. She's not a recruit, she's family." Lee was unmoved. "Family is exactly why I'm doing this. You saw what happened when Poppy was left unchecked. I won't watch another girl in this family throw her life away." Finn softened but didn't back down. "Luna deserves guidance, not control. If you push too hard, she runs straight into Poppy's arms or worse, into the arms of someone like Zende or RJ without thinking it through." Lee shot him a look. "Better a few bruised feelings now than a ruined future later." Luna, overhearing the argument, muttered under her breath, "Maybe I don't need saving." The heartbreak in her voice was palpable, caught between wanting Lee's approval and yearning for independence. Hope and RJ cross paths with Luna later at Forrester Creations. RJ and Hope caught Luna in the middle of one of Lee's new assignments, organizing fabric swatches in alphabetical order while reciting industry jargon. Hope, ever empathetic, raised an eyebrow. "Luna, this seems a little intense." RJ, who had been trying to support Luna romantically while keeping peace with his family, immediately grew protective. "Did my grandma put you up to this?" he asked. Luna shook her head. "Not Eric, it's Lee. She's training me." Hope frowned but chose her words carefully. "Sometimes tough love works. But don't lose yourself in the process. You have a gift, Luna. Don't let anyone make you feel like you're not enough as you are." The pep talk was classic Hope, gentle, yet grounding. Luna's small smile showed that she heard it, even if she wasn't ready to rebel against Lee just yet. RJ, on the other hand, looked like he was ready to storm into Lee's office and demand she back off. Weekend cliffhanger. Sheila spills. The final act belonged to Sheila, as it so often does. The scene returned to Il Giardino, where she crossed paths with Katie. Ever the vulture circling prey, Sheila wasted no time twisting